I take the second key out of the canvas bag. I want to record what that action felt like because the recording is meant to capture what happened, not only what was observed, and the distinction matters here. Taking the key out of the bag after carrying it since the accumulation site's Season 3 visit, after the coastal configuration, after the offshore structure's alteration, after the marking site's placement attempt, felt like arriving somewhere rather than doing something. The key in my hand was not the same key I had been carrying. I have documented the changes across several episodes, but holding it now, in this room, with the drawer open, and watch 1 producing amber light from the right side, the accumulated changes resolved into a single quality I can only describe as readiness at its terminus. The key had been ready for a long time. It had arrived where it was ready to be. I am aware that is an interpretive statement. I am recording it anyway. Hannah is on my left. Maren is at the wall. The record book is open on the table behind me. The amber line at the bottom of the entry, when both are present, the first listener's record will be available to read, is there. I checked it before I reached into the bag. I hold the second key over the left side of the drawer. I lower it slowly. The amber light from watch number 1 responds when the key enters the drawer's airspace. Not dramatically, a brightening of the same degree I have learned to associate with correct positioning. The watch confirming the key's presence, the way the fitting's guide arcs brightened when the keys entered the placement geometry. Recognition, not reaction. At 5 centimeters above the drawer floor, the device, still in my jacket pocket where I put it after the mapping session, produces a tone, not a loud tone. The acknowledgement frequency I first heard on the Morwena's deck, a single note. The device is not reading a direction or a distance or a condition. It is acknowledging an event. I lower the key to the drawer floor. The key rests on the left side. The second key, made before the archive, made as a pair with key 47, separated at some point in the system's history and held here in this drawer until we took it, returned now to the position the system has been holding for it. The watch and the key are in the same drawer. The space between them is approximately 4 centimeters. I do not close the drawer. The response does not begin immediately. I want to record that precisely because I have trained myself to expect immediate system responses to significant artifact contacts, and the pause here is information. 1 full 11-second interval passes after the key touches the drawer floor. Nothing changes during that interval. The amber light from the watch holds steady. The device is silent after its single acknowledgement tone. The interval runs through the floor. The second interval begins. At the 7-second mark of that interval, the watch's amber light changes. Not brighter, deeper. The quality of the light shifts from the guidance layer amber I have been documenting since the coastal fitting, warm, orienting, designed to show placement, to something older. A deeper amber, closer to the gold of old metal in certain lights, less warm and more present. The watch has moved from one mode to another. I note the shift and watch. The key on the left side of the drawer begins to show the same color, not immediately. It starts at the title shelf stamp on the inner shaft, the same mark that first indicated the key's pre-archive origin, and spreads outward from there along the blade. The brass does not glow the way the watch does. The watch produces light. The key reflects it or absorbs it and returns it differently, the brass warming in color until the key and the watch are the same quality of amber, and the drawer interior is uniformly lit. Both artifacts, same layer, same frequency, the pair is complete. Hannah says very quietly, "Look at the record book." I look at the record book without moving away from the drawer. The entry is changing, not the existing lines. The 5 major paragraphs and the 2 amber lines at the bottom remain exactly as written. Below them, new text is forming. The same amber script, the same even hand, the same non-paper substrate receiving the marks from whatever source produces them. But the pace is different from the real-time writing I observed in the accumulation site record book at the end of Season 3. That writing had been deliberate, one word at a time, each word appearing before the next. This is faster, sentences forming whole, as though the record has been waiting fully formed and is now only becoming legible. I leave the drawer and go to the table. Hannah is already reading. She is moving her lips slightly, not aloud, the way she reads when the language requires full attention, when she is constructing meaning from syntax rather than scanning. I stand beside her and read. The new section of the entry is headed with a single word in larger script, Case 8. Below it, the first listener's record. M. O'Connor heard the signal in 1917. He had been hearing it since 1914 without recognizing it as a distinct phenomenon. He recorded it for the first time in 1917 in a document that was not part of the archive system and that has not survived. He found the archive in 1919. The archive had been waiting for him. He carried the signal before contact. The condition preceded the network. This is confirmed. He was at 47 Marginal Road from 1919 until 1931. During those 12 years, he traced the network structure as far as the primary grid. He understood the signal's origin before the archive had language for what he had found. He wrote, "Investigators carry the signal. The archive grew around them. He was the first to write it and the last to believe it of himself. He was given watch number 1 in 1923. He did not receive it. He found it. It was placed for him to find by the system's own process at the moment the system recognized him. He carried it until 1931. In 1931, he returned the watch to the primary grid, not watch number 1, a different object. He returned what he believed the system required. The watch remained with him. The notation in his journal returned it. Not enough refers to a document, a record he believed was the correct return offering. It was not. The watch was what was required. He did not know this. He left the watch in this drawer in 1931 before the fire. He left it because he had carried it for 8 years and he understood imprecisely that it belonged somewhere other than with him. He left it here. He did not leave instructions. He did not know we would come. He did not survive the fire. Martin O'Connor is the first listener. His record has been open since 1931 because the watch was returned to the primary grid, but the second key was not present when the watch arrived. The pair was incomplete. The circuit required both artifacts in the same location. The return has been pending for the span of time between 1931 and the current investigation. The current investigators are the return path for O'Connor's signal. This is what the circuit closing at the marking site confirmed. The signal that left with O'Connor in 1917 has been completing its return through every listener the network has registered since 1931. The current investigators are the final arc of that return. The return is now complete. Martin O'Connor's investigator record is closed. Case 8, closed. Below that, one more line. The last line. The record book writing it as I read the paragraph above, the amber script appearing letter by letter at a pace I can watch. The case is closed. The book is still writing. I stand at the table for a long time. Hannah has her hand flat on the table surface, not on the record book, just on the table. She is looking at the entry. She is not reading it anymore. She has read it, and she is looking at it the way you look at something that has been true for a long time and has now become visible. I think about O'Connor, the Project Chronos journal, dark green cover, the train station photograph, the figure with the turned face, the final journal entry trailing off in 1931. The 4 words in the back of the journal, returned it, not enough, pressed hard into the paper. The notation that I read as resignation and then as preparation and now as something else. A man who understood the shape of what he was trying to do, but not the exact specification. Who left the watch in the right place, but at the wrong time, without the second key, the pair incomplete, the circuit still open. He waited in the accumulation site record through every investigator who came after him, through L. Carter and A. Keller and the erased 1953 investigator and R. Velasquez, whose future date we have not yet reached. Through every listener the network found because the signal he carried had not yet completed its return. He did not know we would come, but the system did. I look at watch number 1 in the drawer. The amber light is different now. Not the guidance quality of the fitting marks, not the waiting quality it had before the key was returned. Something settled. The watch has done what it was waiting to do. It will not be here when I look for it later, I think. The record closed. The artifacts will go where closed records go. I reach into my jacket pocket and take out key 47. I hold it in my hand for a moment. The key that O'Connor carried before me. The key made before the archive, before the node protocols, before the catalog card system. The key that was already in my investigation without an origin entry. The way the device arrived at 47 Marginal Road on its own. The way the watch appeared on my notes during the power outage. Things that were already there. I think about what that means now. O'Connor carried this key. The signal he carried for 8 years, documenting what he could see and not what he was, passed through the system and through every investigator who came after him and completed its return through the current investigation. Through me, through Hannah, through the coastal configuration and the offshore confirmation and the marking site's consequence mark and the return of the second key to this drawer. The signal has returned. I should feel different. I am trying to determine whether I feel different, and I cannot tell yet. The interval is still running through the floor, 11 seconds. The book says the case is closed, and the book is still writing. Whatever comes after a closed case in this system, I am standing in the first moment of it, and I do not have documentation for what this moment is supposed to feel like. I hold key 47, and I look at the closed record book entry, and I look at the watch and the second key in the drawer, both amber now, both settled, and I hear footsteps outside on the cliff path, approaching, not retreating, a single set, unhurried, someone who knows exactly where they are going. And Hannah looks at me, and I look at the door, and the device in my pocket emits its acknowledgement tone again, one clear note. And Maren turns from the wall, and the footsteps reach the entrance and stop.